Hi everyone, I hope you're staying safe and healthy out there. I'm Erin Powers, I'm a staff archaeologist at Ball State University. Today I'm going to walk you through a draft of the Fort Recovery State Museum pre-contact experience. Please let Chris, Nancy, or me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about this project. This project was funded by the Ohio History Fund Grant and is created with a software application called StoryMap. The finished project will be a companion to the Prehistoric Experience exhibit on the second floor of the museum. The story map also allows people who cannot get access to the second floor of the museum, who are homeschooled students, and non-local users to access the exhibit. The story map also enhances the experiences of on-site visitors, breathing innovative technology into this wonderful collection. So let's preview the digital pre-contact experience. So the first thing you'll see on the story map is the title acknowledgement page. Scrolling down, you'll see the links on the top of the screen, and they'll remain there for the rest of your user experience. The links include the introduction, each main cultural time period, conclusion, and resources and links. The introduction welcomes the user to the Fort Recovery State Museum digital pre-contact experience and lists the objectives of the story map. If you notice, the words cultural time period are bolded. Archaeology terms will be bold and linked to definitions forming a glossary. The glossary can be used by teachers in the classroom or with student field trips. And this is what it looks like. So if we were to go ahead and click on cultural time period, it'll take you over to a PDF of cultural time period, and it gives you the definition and it gives you an example of how cultural time periods are used in archaeology. And then at the bottom, if you need more information or want more information, go ahead and click on the link there. The next paragraph goes over what users can expect in the contact experience. It introduces how stone tools are made and includes a video. It also familiarizes users with common archaeology terms like projectile point and flint knapping. Finally, there are two paragraphs that discuss how to use the story map and make users aware of the survey at the end. The next paragraph discusses the Fort Recovery State Museum and the collection. We discuss the WPA building that the museum is housed in, the first floor exhibit, and the pre-contact collection. Underneath is a map of the Fort Recovery State Museum highlighted by this little blue marker right here that I have highlighted. And if you were to click on it, what you would see is this blurb pops up about the museum and tells you a little bit of history about the museum and the building that it's housed in. So now I'm going to take you through the first cultural time period, the Paleo-Indian period, as an example of what to expect in the meaty content portion of the story map. So to get to the Paleo-Indian period section, you can navigate two different ways. Either scroll down to the period like we just did, or you can go ahead and click on the link at the top of the page where it says Paleo-Indian period. At the top of this section is the title and the approximate, time period written in blue, which is the same color used for Paleo-Indian period in the second floor exhibit at the museum. One of the main design goals for the story map is to make it fit with the existing prehistoric artifact exhibit. We made sure to use the same color palette as the exhibit, where each color represents a cultural time period. If you were to scroll down, included in this section is a video from the Cleveland Museum of Natural History, where archaeologists go over Paleo-Indian artifacts from the Paleo Crossing site in Ohio. We will use this or a similar video in each cultural time period all with permission from the makers. The next Paleo-Indian section, if you were to scroll down, includes two different maps. The first map has blue targets on it, and if you were to click on these targets, they would pull up events happening across the world during the Paleo-Indian period. This marker right here shows the end of cave paintings being drawn in Europe, like the famous Lascaux cave paintings in France. The red circle on the map highlights the state of Ohio for reference. This is another similarity between the story map and the actual exhibit. The map will include the same events that are on the timeline in the exhibit at the museum and will also include some new events. The next map that we're going to scroll to zooms in onto Ohio, and this is an exciting addition to the context of the collection. It shows off well-known Paleo-Indian sites around the state with a marker for Fort Recovery for reference. One of the markers on the map includes the Paleo Crossing site in Sharon Center, Ohio, with information about the site and an image of the artifacts found here. And I'll go ahead and click on that for you guys to give you an idea of what that looks like. So if you just noticed, you'll notice that the map itself expanded onto the screen and it gives you a lot of information. And I'm sorry that this must look so small to you from where you're sitting, but trust me, if you were to actually see it on your computer like I am, you'd be able to read it. And it gives you some information about the site and what was found there and the time period. And it gives you even a picture of some of the artifacts that were found. We can go ahead and close that and go ahead and exit out of the map. And each of the 6 to 8 sites highlighted on this map will be shown similarly in a summary. So the next section that I want to bring you to for the Paleo-Indian period is a slideshow of high quality photos that we will take of select artifacts from the museum's collection. So right now these images are placeholders that give you an idea of the section, and we will display artifacts from the collection with a caption of artifact type and other pertinent information. Nancy often categorizes artifact function as either weapons, jewelry, or tools for student groups. We will continue the same identification in the caption. So another very exciting addition, both for the site and for remote visitors, is these 3D scanned images. So this screen allows users to view and manipulate 3D scanned artifacts from our collection. The screen can be maximized for a bigger view, which takes a bit of time, so I'll hold off on that for now. But the artifact itself can be rotated and you can zoom in to really see some of the intricate detail and texture in the artifact. And it's a really neat tool for adults and children to get an idea of what kind of artifact this is and possibly what the function of this would have been hundreds or thousands of years ago. At the end of each section, once we get past all of the super fun, cool things, there will be a wrap-up paragraph that discusses the cultural period transition and a teaser for what to expect in the next cultural period. And as you can see here, the next cultural period will be the Archaic period. And the last thing that I do want to turn your attention to is our resources and links section. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that and it'll take us right there. And so in this section, there are buttons that users can click on and it will take them to either all of the 3D scanned artifact collection and also extra resources. And below the resources, there is a survey that users will be able to take about their impression and experiences with the story map. We will keep the survey brief so that users can fill out the survey in about a minute. The answers are recorded and sent to Chris, Nancy, and I to review so we can make improvements to the story map. So Thank you all for listening and for your attention. And for the next few months, now that the museum is closed for the season, our step is to borrow some artifacts, which Chris is going to do. And we're going to take them back to Ball State for photography and for 3D scanning. We should have an almost complete product ready for you all to review at the April Historical Society meeting. And this project will be completed by June 30th of 2021. Thank you so much.